A. How Candace Owens became Turning Point USA's worst enemy. In an age of conspiracism, some believe the truth is whatever gets the most views. In an age of conspiracism, some believe the truth is whatever gets the most views. And here we go. Less than 1 month after Charlie Kirk's death, Candace Owens made an incendiary claim. Kirk came to her in a dream and told her he had been betrayed. Well, that you don't know. I'll read it again. Less than 1 month after Charlie Kirk's death, Candace Owens made an incendiary claim. Kirk came to her in a dream and told her he had been betrayed. Owens, a conservative podcaster who worked for Turning Point USA from 2017 to 2019, that's 17 would be 1 year, 18 would be 2 years, so it's about 3 years, has taken it upon herself to investigate Kirk's death because she wants to get the views, homing in on potential betrayers. On her very popular podcast, she denied that Tyler Robinson, the troubled 23-year-old from Utah who is standing trial for allegedly murdering Kirk, had acted alone. She suggested Israel somehow played a role. I'm going to look at you and say, I wouldn't be surprised. Played a role. And she said Kirk's former colleagues at Turning Point, including his little old wife, Erica Kirk, should face intense scrutiny. But they won't, and I'll tell you why. Because as Professor Black Truth says, the people who work at Turning Point USA, they have the complexion for the protection. But back to the article. Everything Turning Point is doing is wrong, Owen said on her podcast a month over after Kirk died. I want war with all of you, okay? All of you. You better be worrying about them French people going to take your ass to court over you saying that the First Lady of France was born a man. And I hope they keep that foot on your neck and just make your eyes bug out of your head. At first, Turning Point did little to push back. Then Owens dialed in on two of Charlie Kirk's confidants who were present when he was killed. Turning Point Chief of Staff Mikey McCoy and contracted camera operator Terrell Farnsworth. McCoy has appeared on video holding his hands to his ears moments after Kirk's death, something that Owens found suspicious, and Farnsworth drew her attention over a selfie video he recorded in shock as Kirk's body was whisked away. Owens said she found their actions to be quite strange. Yeah, but she's a conspiracy theorist nut. There is no way you are going to convince me and the rest of the world that all of this is normal. On a late October episode of the Charlie Kirk Show, producer Blake Neff claims that Turning Point staffers were part of some sort of conspiracy utterly vile. McCoy declined to comment. It was one of the first times Turning Point acknowledged the conspiracies publicly, but privately, mayhem was unfolding inside of the organization. Following Owens' conspiratorial videos, staffers received a series of threats, and Turning Point ramped up security at its Phoenix headquarters and the homes of several employees according to 3 people with direct knowledge of the arrangements who, like others in this piece, were granted anonymity to discuss private matters. One of those people took their family into hiding multiple times and eventually moved into a rental property so their names would not appear on public documents. The home they owned is now rented out. This person also told Politico magazine they spent thousands of dollars scrubbing their children's images from the internet. I will keep reading. Several others who worked for or with Turning Point received death threats after Owens mentioned them on her show. Out of concern for their safety, they hired private security. And I'm going to tell you, that's going to cost some money. Farnsworth, the contracted camera operator, feared for his life. After multiple death threats, ain't America a great company? A great country? After multiple death threats, he and his wife pulled their kids out of school and went into hiding for forever, according to 3 people familiar with Turning Point security arrangements, as well as a 4th person with direct knowledge of the situation. Farnsworth declined to comment. Reached for a comment, a spokesman for Turning Point and Erica Kirk pointed to the Kirk family's public statements on Monday and Friday and motions their attorney filed in court on Thursday and Friday. By the way, at the end of this article, I have an original tune that I produced. Yeah, I do. And I think that's all the reading I'm going to do at the moment. Thank you very much. Nick Fuentes, Assistant Attorney General Harmeet K. Dahlan doesn't know a thing about this country, but she does know about Chandigarh, India. Our Assistant Attorney General. Not tell her and the Vic Rama noodles apart. I repeat, I cannot tell her and the Vic Rama noodles apart. Nick Fuentes, Assistant Attorney General Harmeet K. Dahlan doesn't know a thing about this country, but she does know about Chandigarh, India, and she is our Assistant Attorney General. Tell her and the Vic Rama noodles apart. I repeat, I cannot tell her Anvivic ramen noodles apart. And here I go. Harmeet, toilet seat, Harmeet, total heat, Harmeet, trick or treat, Harmeet, incomplete, Harmeet, whiskey need, Harmeet, buckwheat, Harmeet, bucket seat, Harmeet, total heat, Harmeet, trick or treat, Harmeet, incomplete, Harmeet, whiskey neat, Harmeet, buckwheat. You don't know anything about the history. You don't know anything about